Hello, travelers. Or maybe you're not a traveler. You just want to listen in. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm Pam Barker. And this is Travel Bistro. Excuse me. I have not been podcasting very much because we've been traveling quite a bit, extensively, actually, for many, many months. But I'm stopping now because I want to talk about something you may be interested in. Now you do need a passport for this, but it's not that difficult. So grab your passport and think about going on the Great Lakes. Victory 1 was just christened, and we were there for all the good times. We left South Florida at the end of April. This was a 10-day actual cruise, but we were gone longer than that. But the cruise itself was 10 days. You start in Toronto and you end in Chicago, and then you do the Great Lakes in between. As a kid, I got through testing about the Great Lakes by HOMES, homes. So we were set out to cruise homes. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. However, we only did home. We didn't get to do the US. It was all the Great Lakes, but our captain decided not to go through the Soo Locks to get into Lake Superior. So maybe next time. Let's talk about Victory, though. We went from here to Toronto, and we had part of the cruise is an overnight. You get to, if you choose that plan, you stay at a nice hotel, and for us, we met up with other people and went to a fantastic dinner, and then I went to a live show at a theater. Toronto's lovely. We love Canada. We love Canadians, whether it's on the East Coast or West Coast, wherever you enter Canada. It's good. It's all good. So, Victory 1, purchased by John and Claudette Wagner, is a small vessel. We had about 90, little over, right at 90 people on our cruise. It holds a little bit more than that. The staterooms are intimate and they're lovely, and you have everything you need in there, including a little mini fridge, which they keep stocked for you, and you can tell them what you want. Gary likes Coke Zero. They were in there all the time. For him, whatever you like to have. This is an all-inclusive situation where everything is included. Now, as far as shore excursions, they have, if you want to, kind of upgrade to do more than the regular, just run-of-the-mill excursions, which are all great, by the way, you can do a premium or immersive. We just did the regular ones and were not disappointed in any of those. Niagara Falls couldn't have been better weather. It was absolutely fantastic. We were on the Canadian side, went down to kind of behind the falls, an glass elevator that took us down. It's just too much for this podcast. So I'm going to hit some of the high points, and if you want to know more, I'll tell you how. Number one, you can go to Victory Cruise Lines and find out absolutely everything you want to know. But let's just start on the actual ship. The stateroom, we were on the 4th level, and our door opened right out onto the promenade deck, which means you're outside, and it ran all the way down the ship for all the staterooms on that side. On the 3rd floor, the doors open to the interior hallway, but it was great. You just opened the door, and there were chairs out there, and you sat there, and it was just lovely. The main thing about this ship, besides it's a beautiful vessel to do the 5 Great Lakes, the crew is just outstanding, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But why would you do the Great Lakes? Why would you get on a vessel like that and cruise the Great Lakes? We lived in Ohio at one point, so we weren't that far from Lake Erie. We were in Columbus. It was a little bit of a drive, but if you've not been around the Great Lakes, they are great for a reason. There's method to the madness of calling them the Great Lakes and why you would want to cruise. They are actually the largest freshwater system in the world, containing 21% of surface freshwater for the planet. Yeah, it's a lot of water. How were they formed? Retreating glaciers. That's how. So they're massive. When you're on the Great Lakes, you may or may not see land. It's like being on the ocean. I mean, it truly is. Excuse me. Ah. And many people think, when they think about the Great Lakes, they call to mind, they will mention the Gordon Lightfoot song, the Edmund Fitzgerald, which was a disaster, boat sinking with 29 lives lost. So that will usually come up sometime when you're talking about Great Lakes. When you do the Great Lakes and you go from one to the other, you will go through a series of locks. People think about locks in Europe a lot, and rightly so, the rivers in Europe, but they're massively important in the U.S. So most of the time our vessel went through the locks in the dark of night, very dark of night, or wee hours of the morning, but not always. And when I could, I took photos and observed, because I find locks a fascinating marvel. They're an engineering miracle, I think. The Panama Canal, if you ever get the chance, talk about the locks. Oh, wow. But you would be surprised how important it is if you're not thinking about the Great Lakes and the interconnecting system that we have within our country. It's really pretty cool, even though you do need a passport to be on this particular line, Victory 1 and Victory 2. They have two ships. You do need a passport. Briefly, it's really not a big deal, because the Canadians are pretty cool about you coming and going. Right now anyway. But the Victory, we were very fortunate to join, to be taken from our hotel. Zip, no worries. Easiest system getting on the ship ever. Just step on and you're there. They take care of your luggage, easy peasy. I mean, literally from the hotel. But we were there for the christening. And if you're familiar with how vessels work, water vessels, and they launch a new ship, they will always have a godmother. And that goes back forever. And the Wagners had a christening ceremony that we were privileged to be at. And their godmother was the daughter, Emily Coleman, and she gave a very heartwarming speech. She came to tears, and a lot of us did too. It was very, very, very touching. And then they went to the front, which is the bow, by the way, and she christened with Canadian Mist whiskey instead of champagne, which was very fun and very cool. The actual vessel, the crew, the food, I can't talk about it enough, but these podcasts can't go on forever, because you only have so much patience to listen. So I'm gonna steer you to some other areas to do research if you care. Staterooms, though, have 6 categories, so you have some choice there with the staterooms. Within the ship, you have the Compass Lounge, which is where lectures are given, entertainment is at night, dancing. They have a Lake Lorien on board to talk all about the history of the lakes. And they have chessboards around, really pretty ones, and you can do puzzles if that's your thing, or you can find a place to sit and read, whatever it is that you wish to do. And they have coffee, different kinds of coffees, gourmet coffees, these machines that will make whatever you kind of beverage you want. And in the afternoons, they have snacks, sandwiches and cookies and pastries and things like that. Behind the Compass Grill is the tavern, which I liked very much. Had a lot of dark wood, leather seats, and that's kind of where you go for cocktails. And it has all these lovely windows down the side, kind of Victorian windows, which was kind of interesting for me. The restaurants, the grill is one of the restaurants where we celebrated with our friends. Uh, is open at night. It's open for breakfast and lunch, but then at night it closes down, and you have to have reservations. And we did Gary's birthday with our friends, and I made arrangements with the food and beverage manager for that with a secret, not telling Gary, because it's hard to keep a secret from him because he's a travel writer and he was there to write about everything and did write about everything. But I wanted to surprise him with a bottle of champagne that he didn't know was coming, and that was really hard. But the food and beverage manager made it easy for me. I told him days in advance. He didn't forget. He checked with me 2 or 3 times, and on the night of the party, he had arranged for the people to come out and make a fuss for Gary with the cake. Said happy birthday, little dessert. For all of us that said happy birthday, Gary. It was really, really fun, and that's what this crew does. They remember you when you get on board. They remember the kind of wine you want. I like Sauvignon Blanc. They made sure that I had what I wanted. They remembered it. I didn't have to act like I'd never seen them before, remember me kind of thing. They remembered. They remember people. They remember your likes, your dislikes, and it's very impressive. So the Wagners have done an outstanding job with their staffing. I just cannot say that enough. All of the crew, the in the restaurants, uh, the, the people that help you if you have changes in your excursions or whatever, they're there, and it's worry free for the most part. One thing you have to remember when you travel, though, expect the unexpected because it will happen, whether or not uh, it's a big thing or a little thing. But some little thing, whether it's with your airline being, and that did happen to us going to Toronto, we got a text at 3:30 in the morning that our airline would not be flying out early, and we had to fly out early in order to make our connection in Atlanta to get to Toronto so that everything lined up. Luckily, we zipped to the airport. They were able to get us on a different flight, and everything worked out. Unexpected, and we were crazy trying to get everything thrown together at the last minute. So it's all about your attitude. If you want to let that ruin your trip, you can do so. I wouldn't. I wouldn't if I were you. But on board, they do every single thing they can to make your stay on their vessel or your shore excursion as pleasant as possible. I really can't say enough about how they handle everything. And you do have to get off. You have to go through customs. You do have some little stops that have to be done. Included are, as I said, the shore excursions. And the places that we were, Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, Sault Ste. Marie, the Soo Locks, where we did get to, it's like Lake Superior was right there, but we just didn't go through the locks. Mackinac Island, which along the way, the cruise line they have buses that follow the route. So when you get off, all you have to do, get on the bus, they take you away. You don't have to arrange for anything. They take you wherever you're going for your shore excursion, except on Mackinac Island. And then, because if you're familiar with that, there are no motorized vehicles allowed. It's all horse-drawn or bikes, that sort of thing. So early in the morning, we did a horse-drawn carriage. 4 to a row, several rows on our carriage, and they gave you a blanket, and it was very, very cold. But we were there for the fort and for the incredible Grand Hotel. Be sure and look that up because it is truly, truly grand. So all of the shore excursions just came off absolutely beautiful. We had great weather. As I said, the food was fantastic. The grill, it's a hot rock kind of thing where you cook your entree on the hot rock. But even just in the regular dining room. When you walked in every night, they had, as you walked along the hall leading into, as part of the restaurant, but they had all the entrees on display, so you knew what your food was going to look like when you ordered it. They think of all these little things that take the worry out of it, I guess, for you, and try to make it pleasant for you. There's a doctor on board, by the way, if you need that. Even though we are within, except for Canada, you could easily leave the boat if needed, which you wouldn't want to have to do that, but you certainly could. You certainly could do that. I could podcast on and on about how wonderful it is to cruise within your own country with a little jump over into Canada. And with Victory Cruise Lines 1 and Victory 2 came out right after they did the christening for the next vessel. You end up in Chicago, the Navy Pier, so you can stay over in Chicago and do all of that before you go back to your home base, if you wish. And they will help you make arrangements if you need that for a shore excursion in Chicago once you get there. Or if you're leaving, going directly to the airport, guess what they do? They take you right to your terminal. The buses load up everyone's luggage, and they stop right by your particular airline. It could not have been easier. And we were grateful for that because we were going to, have a long day of flying. But if you want to know more, of course, you can go to Victory Cruise Line's website and find out more. Or you can check out my partner who has written about this particular cruise. He writes for Aqua Magazine, All Things Cruise, Splash Magazine Worldwide, and our website, northpalmbeachlife.com. Gerry, pronounced Gary. That's how you find him, Barker. Also, check out our YouTube channel, same name, northpalmbeachlife.com. These podcasts, all of my podcasts, both of them, Gigi and the 561, a general topic. I may talk about anything. You may want to hear it, you may not. As well as Travel Bistro. They rest always on northpalmbeachlife.com, but on 20 other platforms as well, including iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and Pandora, and all the other guys out there. Over 20 platforms you can find. Whether you want to or not, I'm out there. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for listening, for joining me, whether you travel or you don't, at Travel Bistro. I'm Pam Barker. Travel on.